welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be reviewing Kevin Hart's new movie, Fatherhood. Hopefully by now you've all been able to see the movie. It's on Netflix and it's starring Kevin Hart, the adorable Melody Hurd, DeWanda Wise, Alfre Woodard, Frankie Faison, and comedian Lil Rel, which I love. He's so funny. Oh my gosh. In the movie, Kevin Hart stars as Matthew, and this movie is basically showing his journey into fatherhood, being a single parent, raising his daughter, Maddie. I don't know if it's just me, but I love TV shows and movies that showcase single fatherhood. Like when I look back on movies in the past, like 3 Men and a Baby, hopefully you've all seen that back in the day, and even the TV show Smart Guy. I love those type of movies where it's like showing single fathers raising children, because that's something that we don't see a lot. I can't even remember the most up-to-date movie that showcased fatherhood, especially black fatherhood. But anyway, so the movie stars Kevin Hart as Matthew, and his wife, she passed away in the movie shortly after giving birth to their daughter. Matthew's doing his best to move on throughout, the process of grieving his wife, and also trying to figure out how to raise a child, because a lot of us who are parents, we know that you leave the hospital, you got this baby in your hand, and you're like, oh my god, what do I do with the baby? So we're all trying to figure it out on our own, and a lot of us, we have our partners to lean on, and it's very different when you're a single parent and you're trying to figure it out as best as you can. And that's what Matthew is dealing with in the film, because he lost his wife Liz, and he's always been the least responsible person, and Liz was the responsible one, so now he's trying to figure out how best to raise their daughter. He's questioning in his mind, okay, what would Liz have me to do? So in essence, he's playing both the father and the mother role. All the people around him in his life, they don't believe in him. They don't think that he can do it. Even he don't even think that he can do it. But all that he knows is that he must do it. He must provide for his daughter. One of the obstacles that he faces within the movie is balancing his career and parenthood, single parenthood. That's something that a lot of us face. Although I felt like it was very different for him, and I'm glad they showed it, because there was a little sexism involved, I feel, because his character, he was, working in a very demanding field, and he was able to take his child to work as an infant, take his infant daughter to work, and he's giving a presentation, the baby in the background crying and everything. He has to go and calm her down, and at first, he's concerned that he might end up being fired, but he wasn't. Now, and everybody around him, co-workers and clients, they were like, oh, it's okay, supportive and everything. When if that was a woman, I don't think that it would have went that way. Shorty would have been fired. Like, are you serious, bringing a baby into the workplace? Not to give too much away in the movie, but it's just a lot of showcasing of different struggles that Matthew's character faces, and frustrations, just him not believing in himself and believing that he can raise his daughter. But he's trying out different things and learning along the way, which is a part of parenthood. You learn things along the way. There's no instruction manual that comes with this. And the thing that I liked most about this movie is that it showcased a different side of Kevin Hart. Like, we know the comedian Kevin Hart, laugh at my pain Kevin Hart, that got us laughing with his stand-up comedy specials. But this showcased his dramatic side, which is something that I've never seen before. I don't know if he had any previous projects where he showed his dramatic side, but oh my gosh. There were some points in the movie where it had me boo-hoo crying. Like, he had a very powerful performance. Like, I give that to him. I mean, he had Alfre Woodard, for goodness sake, in the movie. She's gonna bring the drama. She gonna, have you feeling what she's going through. When her character showcased, a lot of anger at the fact that she lost her child, and she was a very domineering type of woman. feeling like she knew what was best for her granddaughter. I can raise her better than you. And his character was like clashing heads with her, like, no, this is my child. I'm gonna take care of her. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I probably won't be the best at it, but I'm going to do it because I love her. That's my daughter. It was good to see a father putting the needs of his child above himself. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times as society, we expect the mother to be the nurturing one. We expect the mother to sacrifice and do this and do that for the family. But he was willing to sacrifice his wants and his needs to make sure his daughter was taken care of. And it was like, it's team us. You know, forget about everybody else. We got to make sure that we okay. You my number one priority. And he sacrificed a lot of years just focusing on his daughter, and he didn't want to start dating or anything. But of course they're going to throw a love interest into the movie, which, I mean, I guess it was nice to see, because you don't want somebody to be miserable through, you know, going through such a dramatic loss like losing their wife. So I guess it is good to see somebody find love again. But the part of the movie where DeWanda Wise's character shows up and he meets her, and then she has the same name as his deceased wife, I just felt like that was very unrealistic. Like, what are the odds that you will meet someone that has the same name, Liz, as your deceased wife, and you end up falling in love with her? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. But I guess it was cute. There were parts in the film where it shows his daughter Maddie, and she starts acting out because of his new love interest. You know what I'm saying? His attention. She's used to having all of daddy's attention. Now his attention is going, you know, to a special lady friend, and she didn't like that. I like that part of the movie because that's very realistic. That's something that kids do a lot. You know what I'm saying? They expect a lot out of you, and when they see somebody else in the picture, they're like, hold up. In the film, they kept stressing that Maddie needed a female in her life, which is true. You know, little girls do need some type of image to see what they could grow up into, and it would be nice to have a female in that role. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't look to dad for everything, because you and dad are not the same. Even though he was doing his best to raise her, yes, she would need a female influence. And she had strong grandmothers. His mother, which she was a lot more passive than his domineering mother-in-law. But and they wanted to raise Maddie as their own, and I'm glad that the movie showcased that the father could do it, you know, himself. But female influence was needed. Matthew's mother-in-law, she was also dealing with a loss, and that's something that the movie showed too. You know, she lost her daughter. Like, it's a very traumatic thing, and that's something that a lot of us as black women, we face, as far as taking the risk of bringing a life into the world and not being able to be a part of that young person, that baby's life, because we have a higher rate of losing our lives in the middle of childbirth, which is something that Liz experienced. And that's a great topic that this movie brought to the forefront. And like I said, Liz's mother, she's dealing with the traumatic loss of her child, you know what I'm saying? And a piece of her child was within Maddie, and that's why she was so hell-bent on wanting to raise her child, not only because she loved her granddaughter, but because there was a piece of her daughter that she lost. And it brought out all the emotion, you know what I'm saying? Because not only did Kevin Hart lose his wife, but a daughter was also lost in the process too. And Matthew and Liz's mom, they had to learn how to share Maddie, come to an even balance, you know what I'm saying? Let the father raise her, but figure out how the grandmother can be a very influential part of her life. Maddie is, of course, the last remaining part of Liz. But yeah, the whole romantic chemistry between Matthew and the new Liz, that was kind of predictable, as far as you knew that they were going to have some obstacles, because of course there's going to be obstacles with single parents dating someone new and trying not to be so consumed in that relationship that they forget the responsibilities of their child. So it's going to definitely clash, and I mean, we already knew that they was gonna probably break up and get back together in the movie, which ended up happening. And yeah, now I guess they all gonna be a happy family. New Liz, Maddie, and Matt. You know, that's how it goes. We already kind of figured that, but even though that part of the movie was predictable, the movie was very powerful, and I just feel like if I had to rate the movie out of 4 stars, I'd probably give it 3. I get a movie 3 stars. You know what I'm saying? I was not expecting to get so emotional through the movie. Now, there was some funny parts, but I mean, it wasn't like the type of funny parts where it was like forced comedy. It definitely wasn't forced comedy. It was natural comedic timing and different funny parts that came. It would be like, oh yeah, I can imagine somebody having a conversation and throwing out little funny comments and stuff like that. It was funny. Like Lil Rel's character, he was one of Kevin Hart's friends in the movie. He was hilarious, and I love how they showed that angle too, as far as your friends and balancing your friendships with you being a parent, because a lot of times you be the only one with a kid, and your friends don't have kids, and if you got good friends, they're gonna want to be a part of you and your child's life, and they're gonna be figuring out this whole parenthood situation with you too, and you're gonna need that support, especially if you don't have your spouse there with you. So that was very good to know that Matthew had such a great support system as he was trying to figure out raising Maddie. Maddie only had her father to look at, so she'd run around in boys' underwear and pants and jumping out of trees and climbing around and hair in ponytails. I'm like, he could at least took the little girl to the hair salon and get her hair braided or something. But you know, I digress. You know, men don't be thinking about stuff like that. He's like, she's a child. Let her be a child. Let her be free. He had Maddie going to this private school because before Maddie was born, that's what him and Liz talked about as far as her going to this school. And it wasn't necessarily what Maddie probably would have wanted, but because she felt like that's what her mom wanted, she wanted to go there too, even though the dress code was not to her liking because they wanted her to wear a skirt. She a little girl growing up with her daddy. What she know about skirts? She don't want to wear a skirt. She want to wear some pants. Yeah, I only give the movie 3 stars because the whole love interest angle, I felt like that was kind of a forced thing within the movie, and like I said, it was kind of predictable, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I did not expect to cry as much as I did. Like I was like like ugly crying. Nobody got time for all that, so if you don't want to be crying, you might not want to watch this, because this, you know, you used to just laughing at everything that Kevin Hart does. You might not be too prepared for this, but kudos to him showing that he got range. I would definitely like to see more dramatic performances from him, because he did that. Yes, he did. He did a great job. But anyways, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and drop down in the comment section and let me know if you've seen the movie and what your thoughts were. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I make an upload. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.